You know, before this episode of Raw, I didn't even really know which Bella that Daniel Bryan was in a relationship with. Now, unfortunately, I do. Raw review for September 30th, 2013. This is the last episode of Raw for the month of September and the last episode of Raw before the Battleground pay-per-view. So, let's get started. CM Punk opens the show. That's a nice change of pace. Normally they've been saving Punk for like the end of the first hour main event or second hour main event. So it was nice to see him open the show. And he cuts a pretty good promo. I liked that he made reference to the fact that when the WWE is in somebody's hometown, you're about a 95% chance that that guy is going to get their ass kicked. So Punk goes on for a little bit. He does a decent job of hyping the feud with Heyman, the match coming up on Sunday. Then you get some Brad Maddox garbage. And then Big E Langston comes out. Big E Langston, back from the land of WWE superstars, comes out, attacks Punk, and they just go immediately into a CM Punk versus Big E Langston match, which I like that. The match was less than 10 minutes, I believe. It was a pretty good match. CM Punk won with the GTS, so, you know, I liked it. I liked the opening segment. I liked the match. I wish the match would have been a little bit longer. It was less than 10 minutes, but Punk won clean. Up next was Kofi Kingston versus Fandango. This was like a filler match, basically. Kofi won with the Trouble in Paradise. Match was okay. It was short. Not really much to say here. It wasn't terrible. I wasn't annoyed by it, but again, you know, who cares? It's Kofi versus Fandango. I don't give a shit. I know these two could probably put on a better match, but they weren't given enough time to make that happen. But then the Wyatts come out after the match, and Bray cuts a quick promo, and then that was it. They went to commercial. And I was definitely expecting something more from that. But nothing happened. And then after that, we got another backstage segment between Daniel Bryan's Bella girlfriend and Randy Orton, whom I now know he's engaged to Brie Bella. Hooray. I'm so happy that I know that information. Seeing this extended segment with her in it, with Randy Orton, I knew bad things were coming. But then after that, we got a pretty decent Paul Heyman segment. Says he's got big plans for the night for CM Punk. It's pretty much going to be a trap. He's already said it, and he's basically says if Punk's man enough, he can come up and try to stop him. Just try to stop Paul Heyman. So I like that. That was pretty good. Oh boy. Here we go, baby. Jinder Mahal and Heath Slater versus the long-awaited debut of Los Matadors. Is it Matadors or Matadores? Oh, wait a minute. I don't give a fucking shit. Yes, it's just Primo and Epico repackaged. Yes, they completely hijacked the Olay chants from El Generico. They said, nope, you're not El Generico anymore. Fuck you. We're going to take your chants and give them to Primo and Epico. Because we're assholes. Because the WWE is a bunch of fucking assholes. However, I do believe that the WWE crowds will be smarter than that. And that when El Generico finally does show up on the main roster on TV, I believe that they're still going to keep giving him Olay chants because I just think they're smarter than that. They're going to, you know, give a fat fucking middle finger to the WWE. Of course, WWE being as vindictive, Vince McMahon being as vindictive as he is, that might piss him off, and he might punish El Generico for that. Because he's just an asshole. Anyway, let's talk about this intro, okay? This intro was garbage. This was one of the stupidest fucking things I've ever seen. when I wish I would have been recording myself when I first saw this. I face palmed and I was laughing my ass off. I wasn't laughing because it was entertaining. I wasn't laughing because it was funny. I was laughing because I felt sorry for Primo. I felt sorry for Epico. And I felt sorry for myself as a grown man. I was literally thinking, I can't believe I'm a grown-ass man watching what I'm watching on my TV right now. This is fucking garbage. Yeah, anything is better than watching two guys in these goofy pink outfits bringing out a little midget dude, a little guy, in a fucking bull costume. This shit was dumb. This shit was so stupid. I mean, this reeks of WWE creative and Vince McMahon's sweaty, sloppy, hairy, asshole garbage. And you want to know why the WWE isn't mainstream anymore and why they're not gonna be for a long, long time? This is why. It's because of shit like this. This is why they're never gonna expand their fan base. I would never in a million years tell anybody that I watched this shit last night, that I sat there and watched it. And you know what? If I wasn't doing a review for this episode of Raw, I would have skipped right through this whole fucking intro, through this whole fucking match. This was ridiculous. After I got done feeling sorry for myself, I immediately thought of Tensai. Yes, Prince Albert, back when he first debuted as Tensai. And he had this ridiculously gimmicked to hell intro. That's just what I thought of with this. It's a super gimmicky, corny-ass intro that I believe is not going to last very long until they do away with half of it. Pretty soon, Primo and Epico will be fighting their little midget bull dude, just like Tensai fought with his Asian helper guy. It's just fucking garbage. I mean, this was terrible. Terrible! So, yeah, the match happened. The Matadores, they won. But, you know, there wasn't much to say here. It was... The whole match almost seemed like one gigantic fucking gimmick. And yeah, it was real bad. Alright, so at least we got something positive after that. Up next was Triple H and Stephanie propositioning the Rhodes family. One thing I gotta say is, it looks really ridiculous with Cody and Dusty out there dressed as regular people, and Goldust from the neck down dressed as a regular person, but then he's got the stupid fucking Goldust paint on his face. It just looks dumb. Nobody would do that. They just wouldn't do that. Like, they could get rid of the face paint at this point. People know who he is. He's a Rhodes. Go by Rhodes. You could even call him Goldust just without the face paint. Come on. Basically, when it was all said and done, a match was made for the upcoming pay-per-view. It's going to be Cody Rhodes and Goldust versus Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. And if the Rhodes win, they both get a job. And Dusty Rhodes gets to keep his job. But if they lose, no more chances for Goldust and Cody Rhodes. They stay jobless with the WWE. And Dusty also loses his job at the new Performance Center. I liked this segment. I actually liked this segment, even though it had Triple H and Stephanie McMahon in it. And the reason why is because I think it was a huge improvement over what we've seen from the two of them recently. I was hating Triple H and Stephanie McMahon for the right reasons this time. I wasn't hating Stephanie because she was talking on the mic for too fucking long, making me wish I had, poured concrete in my ears to just block out the sound. I wasn't hating Triple H because he was spinning around in circles on the microphone and he wasn't shitting all over everybody in the ring when he was on the mic. No, they were just saying some heel stuff, getting some heel heat, and I think it worked. And it was short and concise, and then the Shield came out afterwards. Goldust took a spear from Roman Reigns, and Cody got the triple power bomb, and they even beat up on Dusty a little bit. Overall, this was a pretty solid heel segment, and vastly improved for Triple H and Stephanie over what they've been doing. Why can't they just do that all the time? Just do that all the time, they'll be fine. Up next was Curtis Axel versus R-Truth. Filler match, that's all this was. And nobody gave a shit about this match. They were chanting for Punk well before his music hit. Then it did. Distracted Curtis Axel. R-Truth was able to get the pin off of it. So Curtis Axel loses the match. Punk never shows up. Just his music was playing. So they're leading into something that's going to happen later on in the night. And up next, we get another dose of Brie Bella as they talk about Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella's relationship in a video package, probably from Total Divas. I can taste the vomit in the back of my mouth. I really can. Up next was Brie Bella versus Alicia Fox. Brie won. Who gives a fucking shit? Oh boy, here we go. Are you ready for some more quality Big Show acting? They gotta stop this Big Show stuff, and they gotta stop it soon. It looks like they're getting there, but my God. They should have never even started. This is just fucking garbage. I mean, Big Show, he looked like a fucking goofball in this interview. He looked like a tard. He just looked dumb. I mean, when he had his shoulders, like, up like this, and his gigantic eyeballs with his crazy face going on, he looked like a fucking Goomba from the Super Mario Brothers movie. This is just so fucking dumb. Between this and Los Matadores, I mean, these were easily the dumbest parts of the fucking show. Anyway, Big Show says he can't take it anymore. He's got enough of Triple H. He's looking for him. He wants to knock his ass out. Okay, terrific. Up next, we got Zack Ryder on TV. Again, on Raw. Holy shit. He lost to Alberto Del Rio. Sorry about your luck. Filler match. Alright, so up next we got the Ryback-Paul Heyman in-ring segment. They're leading the crowd on, trolling hard basically, that Heyman's gonna propose to Ryback some sort of marriage proposal. But you can see coming a mile away he wants him to be a Paul Heyman guy. They were just doing it to troll the crowd, and the crowd was playing into it. So, you know, I would have liked this part more if it was on a show that was more entertaining. But because just about everything else on the show felt like filler, this did too. But it got much better when Punk's music hit. Ryback, Paul Heyman, they're looking around the ring for Punk. All of a sudden he's coming up through the crowd. He jumps over the barricade, slips, lands on his knee, is acting like his knee and his ankle's all fucked up. They get the ringside doctor out there checking him out. Paul Heyman hesitates at first, then he walks over. He's still in the ring. CM Punk grabs a kendo stick from under the ring, spins around, nails Heyman in the fucking ankle, gets in the ring, clocks Ryback a few times with it. Ryback and Heyman take off. Axel comes out. He eats a kendo stick hard, like in the head, I think, and then takes a GTS. He goes down. That was good stuff. Everything after Punk came out was great. The stuff between just Ryback and Paul Heyman, that went on just a little bit too long for my taste. Alright, next we got The Shield versus Dolph Ziggler and the Usos. This was probably the best match of the show. It wasn't a great match. It was a good match. But it was definitely the best match of the show. Things got pretty crazy towards the end of the match. Ziggler got pinned by Reigns after taking a pretty brutal spear. Ziggler sold the fuck out of it. Oh, and guess what? Here comes more Big Show garbage backstage. And this time it's capped off by this epic wall punch fail. Big Show's so pissed, he can't take it anymore. He just punches right through that Triple H poster on the wall. Except, his hand barely goes through the fucking poster, and he pulls it back, and there's this gigantic hole in the drywall. It was fucking stupid. Either that hole had to be there in the first place, or the fucking poster is stronger than the drywall it was attached to. Oh, man. Up next, we got Antonio Cesaro versus Santino Marella with the Great Khali and Hornswoggle in Santino's corner. I skipped this match because I saw this match like 2 weeks ago, and guess what? Santino won. I was pretty sure he was going to win again, and guess what? He did. So I'm glad I did skip it because I saved myself the frustration of watching Santino beat Antonio Cesaro for the second time. All right, so the main event of the show was Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton in a face-off. Orton says he's He's vicious again. He's no longer the lackluster Orton he has been for the past couple of years. He's genetically superior to Daniel Bryan. So he's going to beat him at the pay-per-view. Bryan, he basically says he's going to beat Orton, and he gets this huge yes chant going with Orton screaming no to the crowd, telling him to shut up. It was fun to see Orton, fight back against the crowd. That was fun. But then Orton brings up Brie Bella. I wish he wouldn't. Bryan attacks him because of it. Orton gets the upper hand at one point, and then, just like I knew was going to happen, just like I was afraid of, Brie comes down to the ring with her terrible acting following her. It's like this gigantic fucking stink cloud. She starts screaming. She's crying. Orton gives Daniel Bryan an RKO through the announcer's table. Show ends like that, with Brie Bella, tending to Daniel Bryan. Putting Brie Bella in the main event storyline is a terrible fucking idea. It's only going to get worse. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the WWE will find a way to use her effectively, and Randy Orton's just going to maybe give her a hanging DDT at some point soon so that I don't have to hear her talk. But her acting is fucking horrible. I mean, the Bellas, they're nice to look at. But the acting is no fucking joke. It sucks. Putting her in this already overstuffed main event storyline, it's just going to kill it. As far as the rest of the show goes, I wasn't very excited for this Raw because, almost all of the matches were filler. I think aside from that Dolph Ziggler Usos versus the Shield match, I can't think of any other match on the show that wasn't just to, fill time. That's exactly what all the matches felt like. Some of the segments were good with CM Punk and Heyman and Rhodes and Triple H Stephanie, but the actual matches, they were average to subpar with one good match, and they all, except for that one good match, felt like filler. So not a whole lot to get excited about from a wrestling standpoint. From the in-ring segments, the Paul Heyman CM Punk stuff was good, and I really thought that Triple H and Stephanie were vastly improved over what they have been recently. So that gets a thumbs up in my book. But overall, this show didn't really register for me. It was just kind of flat. Now, I didn't hate it, but there was nothing to really get excited about either. Especially with this, what could be a lethal injection of bullshit in the form of Brie Bella for the main event storyline. Alright, JB Squared 61279. I'm going to do some sort of pay-per-view preview video for Battleground coming up here. So check that out later in the week, and I will see you guys then.